The Sessions Court today granted a request by the prosecution to give a discharge not amounting to an acquittal to Riza Aziz, stepson of ex-PM Datuk Seri Najib Razaj. Riza had been charged with 5 counts of money laundering amounting to $248 million, allegedly misappropriated from 1MDB. According to the statement from the MACC, the government is expected to recover overseas assets related to the offence amounting to $107.3 million. This follows lead prosecutor Datuk Seri Gopal Sri Ram applying for the discharge, which is subject to Riza returning part of the monies amounting to several millions of ringgit. According to Sri Ram, the sums have direct reference to the subject matter of the charges framed in this case. However, should the accused fail to return the sum, the prosecution may reinstate the full charges and prosecute him to the full extent of the law. Riza gained notoriety as the co-founder of movie production firm Red Granite, best known as the studio behind The Wolf of Wall Street. Bursa Malaysia was among the market's top 5 gainers today after securities trade volume across the exchange rose to a record high of 9.59 billion units yesterday. Bursa closed 8.35% or 50 cent up at 6 ringgit 49, with 5.6 million shares changing hands. The last time the bourse saw a trading volume surge was back in August 2014. The spike was driven by fears of a possible COVID-19 resurgence, which coloured global market sentiment and drove interest in healthcare and rubber glove stocks. RHBIB says that investors should look into the small cap equity space, given those shares have lagged behind in staging strong recovery rebounds since the March 18th dip. The outfit says at this point in time, the value lies with the smaller players. Among its top picks include Kumpulan Powernet, Omesti, Solarvest Holdings and SCGM, among others. As COVID-19 continues to hit businesses badly, 2 more companies announced a series of staff-related cost-cutting measures. Property and hospitality company Hatton Group will be closing its non-performing business units, which will result in its staff being furloughed until the economy recovers. The Malacca-based group will also implement a 30% pay cut for employees firm-wide, while some will be on unpaid leave for 6 months starting May 1st. In a memo cited by theedgemarkets.com, MD Datuk Colin Tan says the group's cash flow has not been in good shape since 2019, given the decline in property sales. He says they can't afford to run the business the way it used to, as the world we know no longer exists. Meanwhile, oil and gas player Handal Energy also announced a series of cost-cutting measures with the aim of cutting operating costs for staff by 40%. The deepest cut is reserved for top management at 25%. Handal says its monthly staff costs are expected to be reduced by 21%, representing an aggregate reduction of approximately 4.2 million in the next 6 months. Malaysia's new COVID-19 cases totaled 40 today, according to the Ministry of Health, bringing the total infections in the country to 6,819. Of the new cases, 31 involved foreign nationals, but there were no imported cases reported. New cases have stayed in the double digits for the 11th consecutive day since the conditional movement control order was announced. Meanwhile, 70 patients have been discharged, raising the number of recoveries to 5,351. 1 death was recorded, bringing the death toll to 112, translating to a 1.64% mortality rate. In a survey run by Cinema Online, more than half of respondents are willing to return to the cinemas within a month once the cinemas open and the conditional movement control order is lifted. The survey was conducted nationwide with 800 respondents aged 15 to 60, primarily from the Klang Valley. Just over 50% of Malaysians are willing to return to cinemas, while 30% said they would either be first in line to buy a movie ticket or wait until the movie they want to watch is playing. Bernama quoted Cinema Online MD Marcel Lariche as saying that the survey was to gauge the genuine interest of Malaysians to return to the movies and dispel some of the current negative undercurrent. Local moviegoers are likely less than 2 months away from stepping into a cinema, and currently the earliest movie on the slate is local movie Selina, scheduled to open on July 2nd, 2020.